Hello and welcome to another edition of Highways Presents with me, Dominic Brown, editor of Highways magazine. Today I'm going to be talking to two of the stars of Multevo. That's Josh Sweeney, director of marketing and growth at the company, and Aimee Dewse, a marketing executive. Now, if you haven't heard of Multevo, you haven't been paying enough attention. They started off around about over 10 years ago now, basically as a fleet supplier, supplying the multi-hog, the multi-purpose highways maintenance vehicle, which is basically the Swiss Army knife of highways maintenance fleet. There isn't much it can't do. Multevo became synonymous with the multi-hog vehicle and started supplying it all over the country. From there, Multevo developed its own contracting services, now working on the local and the national network. It went on to produce its own app, which is tailor-made to customers' needs and can help monitor things like health and safety, and make things more efficient on site. And then it's even gone on to produce its own innovation in fleet. It's just released a dual fuel multi-purpose highways maintenance vehicle combining hydrogen and diesel power. So you still have the throttle, you still have the power without the carbon emissions, cutting down on your diesel use. So obviously really useful innovation in highways at this point in time. Basically, Multevo is a massive success story. It's tried its hand and succeeded in many different things, and it continues to grow. And I think there's a lesson there for us all in the way it's become flexible, adaptable, and has developed a really can-do attitude. And it's really exemplified in these two young stars, Josh and Aimee. So we had a really nice chat. There's lots of additional video for you to see in this, and lots of slides and lots of information, so well worth your time. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Hi Josh, Aimee, thank you so much for joining us today. If you could start by just giving a brief introduction to yourselves and Multevo, please.
I'm Josh Sweeney. I'm the Director of Marketing and Growth at Multevo. I joined the business first off in around about 2012.
I'm Aimee Dewse and I'm the marketing executive at Multevo. I mainly look after the digital side of marketing and all of our tenders and bids, and I've been with the business since July last year.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the story of Multevo?
Yeah.
Because you've had a huge impact in a short amount of time, and just explain to us kind of where the company came from and how it's exploded onto the scene.
Yeah, so we set up in 2010 as Multihog UK, and we were known as Multihog UK for the first 7 years of trading, and that was because we were solely the UK distributor of the Multihog equipment. So the Multihog is an articulated multi-purpose tractor. It was originally designed as a machine to cut grass and slopes, and it's evolved into a machine that is capable of endless applications. So it's successfully used for a variety of seasonal work. So you've got your road planing. It's one of the most productive methods for permanently repairing your defects and your patches. And as well as that, it can carry out winter applications. So de-icing, gritting, snow blowing, and in the grounds care side of things, it's good for verge maintenance, grass cutting, flail mowing. We focus on collaboration when we're introducing new attachments, and every attachment is bespoke for the Multihog and it's optimized to outperform everything it replaces.
So as you say, Multevo is kind of synonymous with the multi-hog, and you two have kind of grown symbiotically. I think, in a way, Multevo is a bit like the multi-hog, very versatile.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to give you a bit of background, Dom, we've had to be versatile, as you say, because the machinery that we've been attached to for the last 10 or 11 years is really versatile, and it's meant that we've had to understand different industries rather well and then identify better ways of working. So if we go back to where we started, we had a big foothold in the airport industry. So Gatwick and Heathrow Airport have got 50 machines. They tend to use them mainly for winter maintenance. However, we have seen other industries such as the fire and rescue service identify that the multi-hogs because it's all terrain, it's a really good mobile pumping unit for flooding situations. It can pump something like 6,000 litres a minute. They can also use the machinery for lifting of road collision vehicle. So we've kind of identified where the Multevos fits into other sectors, and then, as you say, it's allowed us to get a really good foothold in the highways industry. So if we look at best practice examples from the strategic network, the kit is already used across the Scottish trunk roads through the different maintenance contractors up there and Transport Scotland for things like flail mowing on the verges. It's used as a road planer. It's replaced snow blowing, dedicated snow blowing vehicles as well, to name but a few. So we've kind of looked at the successes across other sectors, and we've then tried to apply that to our own service delivery model, really, which is now what we're delivering on things like Area 10 through Aimee and National Highways.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about resilience and decarbonisation and the climate crisis today. So if we start by looking at plant and fleet, what does Multevo offer that can lower emissions on both the strategic and the local road networks?
First and foremost, for us, we've got a machine that we utilise that can carry out a range of different tasks that would usually require a number of separate contractors with different vehicles all coming in to do it at different times. So we've got that niche where we can come into a site and a job, and we can tackle different areas of the works in one go.
And you brought into the market just this year a dual fuel system that allows people to switch, well, that uses both hydrogen and diesel. So we're reducing the carbon emissions from the fleet itself. We've actually got a video for all the viewers to watch now. This is the launch of the world's first, I believe, or certainly it's a UK first, dual fuel hydrogen and diesel fleet. Okay, brilliant. I hope you enjoyed that video. It's pretty impressive stuff. I'm sure you'll agree. Can you tell us a bit more about that innovation?
We identified looking at electric options. One of the key trials that we carried out was with one customer, Lancashire County Council. So they've got 6 machines that operate across the network, and they're mainly used for road planing, which is a really arduous task. We did trials on those units to see just at what kind of throttle, what power consumption those machines were undertaking, and we found that 75% of the time the Multevos are fully engaged at full throttle. Now that's quite telling, because I think National Highways have got a figure that they band about every now and then, which says that most plant and machinery on site is only really utilised around 30% of the time. The fact that the Multevos are used that much of the time just shows how much they can be used for. But the challenge was that because it's that power consuming, what's out there that can currently help reduce our emissions? And electric, from all the tests that we looked at, wasn't going to cut it, and it was probably the electric market's not ready, technology's not there just yet. So we looked at HVO, but we identified that hydrogen would be the next step to reducing our emissions and setting ourselves in good stead for the future, really.
Right, and can you tell us, how does this work? Your innovation puts hydrogen directly into the engine, and do you switch between diesel and hydrogen, or is it a combined process?
It's a combined process. In layman's terms, it basically injects hydrogen into the conventional combustion engine, and therefore produces a cleaner process and displaces the diesel effectively. So you don't need to use as much diesel. All the tests that we've carried out on real customer trials in Lancashire, in Shropshire, has found that we're saving around about 40%. So it's a big saving. One of the key drivers for us was we need to be more environmentally conscious. We need to reduce emissions, but we can't compromise the productivity that we're doing in a day, because that is the whole ethos around trying to use a multi-purpose machine. The system's automated, so the operator jumps in the cab and he basically turns his dual fuel system on, and then a notification will come up on the dash which just tells him how much diesel is basically displacing at the different jobs he's doing. And yeah, we've been really pleased with the results, and I think it's testament to just how well this machine has performed that we're only a month or two into the launch of this product, and we've already had machine trials with one of our customers that we deliver the service for. We've already put the machine into another, which is a big Multevos customer, and just this week we've had the order from Glasgow City Council that want to be the first council in the UK to physically take on this machine and deliver the benefits themselves.
So this is a hydrogen canister that you just kind of put into the back of the machine, is that right?
Yeah, the multi-og accepts attachments on the front and on the rear on the chassis. We've basically integrated it's two hydrogen tanks which feeds into the engine. That's got a canopy over it, if you will. We've also integrated a water tank within that, because a lot of the operations that this machine will be used for will be road planing, and one of the key benefits is that you can suppress dust on site. So we're still going to be able to suppress dust.
Aimee, if I could turn to you, what tips can Multevo give us about how to make highways maintenance work as carbon efficient as possible?
But one of the main tips that I would give is just to evaluate your existing practices and identify what you can do to change those to help reduce your carbon emissions. So as Josh spoke about before, this is what we did with the multi-hog. We saw we had a great product, and we knew there would be ways to make it more carbon efficient. And so that's when the dual fuel system came into play. But I'd say as well as that, in your operations, there are practical steps you can take. And I think one of the key things that we did was upskilling our compliance manager. So he studied with the Low Carbon Innovation Forum at Lancaster University to sort of learn about some practical things that we could implement in our operations and within the business that would help us be more sustainable. Yeah, so we're now measuring vehicle movement and relating this to the emissions of each individual team. And then that helps us identify ways of improving the carbon emissions by looking into what they're actually doing day by day. Started implementing a circular economy where we can. So that's the use of recycled items such as PPE. And obviously, as a highway maintenance contractor, you go through heaps and heaps of PPE. So that is a major thing that could actually help you reduce your carbon. And we're looking at trialing electric equipment in our teams. So all your tools and your various pieces of equipment.
Simple things as well. So we kind of got impacted a little bit through COVID, got to be said, but we implemented if you could buddy up with colleagues going into work, so you're not driving two vehicles to site, for instance, this type of thing. We even had an incentive scheme, whereas if you choose to holiday in the UK and don't travel through by means of air, that will give you an extra holiday and things like that. So it's some simple things as well that just try and, because it's important, because then it means when people are out in the field doing the job, they're thinking about how can I actually make a difference here. And we've seen that through the development of testing new materials, worm mixes and things like that. So it's just creating that culture that's important as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I really love that initiative. It's about empowering people, getting people to start thinking for themselves about how they can make a difference. Just as you're saying, Josh, about empowering the workforce, and Aimee, you were talking about increasing knowledge within the company. I think that ties in well with your general offer to the market, because you're a self-delivery company, aren't you? You don't subcontract.
In 2017, we set up the contracting division as a reaction to the market and listening to our customers. And we were using the multi-og as part of our service. And because we were a new player in the industry, we had to work hard to get noticed. So we were raising the bar, trying to be an exemplar and using innovation to do this. And I think that's where our self-delivery model has really developed.
And it's just evolved organically, really, to say, can you do this? Can you do that? And we look at either utilising the kit and bringing that expertise in. So we've gone from a patching contractor effectively to a much more diverse highway maintenance contractor. We now deliver civil engineering, vegetation management, and we've also set up our own traffic management, which is going to allow us to be effectively a one-stop shop. So our customers are relying on one contractor to be responsible for the entire scope of works.
What about the strategic road network? How does a company like you feed into this huge national network?
What we've found is that we can make an even bigger impact on the strategic network, because we're arriving effectively with 1 or 2 multi-hogs and a bunch of different attachments, and we're working almost like a convoy system. And we basically have already identified which jobs the multi-hog is going to tackle within that closure.
Breaking down silos within the work, and also breaking down silos between local and strategic. No reason why we can't take the lessons from one and apply it to the other. We've got another video now. Here are some testimonials from Multevo customers explaining exactly how they've helped improve efficiencies on the local and strategic network.
I'm Scott McDonald. I'm the Highway Operations Team Leader carrying out highway maintenance duties here at Derby City Council. As a highway authority, our responsibility is to carry out maintenance on all roads, footpaths, cycleways, carry out winter maintenance duties and emergency call-out duties. The impact that the multi-hogs had is it's almost well over tripled our productivity within about 14 to 15 weeks, and it's allowed us to become much more efficient and patch within the in-house service without having to go to outside contractors. We're using it for either large-scale rip-outs and relays like you see here today. This job that we're currently on is 360 square metres, which this multi-hog has managed to plane out within a day. We can also utilise that to come and do some footway repairs, some footway maintenance and some small pothole repairs as and when we require. We've gone from doing around 50 square metres a day to now doing somewhere in the region of between 150 to 200 square metres a day. And that's plane out and put back of material.
My name's Jason Sapsford. I'm the Operations Manager for Kier Highways on the Shropshire Highways contract. We commenced the contract in 2018, which is a full highways contract which covers all highways maintenance, routine maintenance, bridges and structures, street lighting and street cleansing. As part of the strategy, we undertook trials. Multevo were successful in those trials and formed part of our future strategy on repairing the asset. Utilising Multevo with the multi-hog is very fast, it's efficient, it's cost effective, it reduces health and safety risk of HAVs exposure to our teams on site, and ultimately reduces gangs being on the network longer than what they need to be. They're taking the same journey as us, which is important, and we're all working as a team together to make it better for the Shropshire Council and the communities of Shropshire. We started with one team, one Multevo team on board. We've increased that to 3 teams, and that is having massive impacts on the network in terms of productivity. We're averaging per team 125 metres to 150 metres squared per day. For me, I think Multevo has got a great future ahead, not just in Shropshire with the Kier wider business and the other local authorities or strategic network.
Hi there, my name is Nick Carter and I'm a director of Multevo Limited. We are the multi-hog sole distributors for the United Kingdom, and we are also Tier 1 and local authorities supply chain partner, carrying out a variety of highways maintenance activities, and in this case we are completing structural, routine and reactive patching on behalf of Shropshire Highways. So the Multevo method works exceptionally well for Shropshire Highways. We undertook a variety of trials with Shropshire Highways whereby we completed a variety of defects. But the beauty of what we offer as a supply chain partner is the full package from pre-site survey utilising the Multevo app, where we complete a walk, talk and build with the client, where we will measure out the works that need to be done, and we will then schedule the works, assisting with programming and permitting before making a programme and submitting that for client approval ahead of turning up to site with the plant and machinery needed to complete the task. We then complete the task, capturing before, during and after images before moving on to the next site and managing all compliance on site before submitting a full review of the works completed.
So we talked a little bit there about monitoring, and again, Multevo made some great innovations in this area. You brought out your own app during the pandemic, no less.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the benefits that we've had as being a new contractor on the market really is that we've not inherited archaic processes and paper systems. The app came about because we wanted the brief, if you will, internally was we need to make sure that we are rolling out health and safety initiatives to our operatives on the front line digitally, and we also need to manage the quality of the work that we're undertaking. And it was basically, they were the two kind of ambitions that we had, but the app has kind of developed and evolved, and customers have seen the app and asked, well, can you report this? Can you do that? And it's kind of, because we've developed it ourselves, we've got the skill in-house to create these new processes, and it's evolved into something which, you know, we get asked for the app as much as we get asked for our services sometimes, just because of how good it is.
So, Amy, talk us through some of the things the app can do.
So in terms of health and safety, we can monitor hand and vibration exposure to our operatives, and that's all easily digested into a simple to read dashboard which provides the information in real time. Our operatives can carry out pre-use checks using the Multevo app on all equipment prior to any works commencing. And again, that's documented and can be accessed by management and our customers at all times. And I think one of the great benefits of the app is all sort of near misses, non-conformances, accidents are all documented by the app, which allows us to act promptly on the information to make changes, you know, release toolbox talks based on the information, you know, give out safety alerts. It's really improving the safety of the job in hand.
That's vital, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making sure, especially now you're moving into traffic management, making sure you're refining the processes as those near misses happen. Yeah, that's really great work. Okay, and here is a brief introduction video to the app. So it's over to Stuart.
The digital solutions we have in place start in the morning when the drivers do their pre-use checks, whether it be plant, vehicles or the multi-hog behind me. This enables them to capture any defects and flags it up to the management team, enabling quick rectification of defects. During the pre-use checks, we can enable something called virtual supervisor, so that we can make operatives concentrate on certain aspects of a machine if we feel that they are either safety critical or have been lacking in the past. Our operatives use the app to record their daily work, and that includes the productivity that they're able to produce using the multi-hog, record any near misses that they encounter on site, also record their HAVS exposure for any relevant plant they have used during the day. All the information covering health, safety, environment, quality and vehicle compliance, plus all the productivity is fed into our live dashboard, which enables clients and managers to access information in real time. Using the app allows us to monitor performance, time spent using the app, so we can check that operatives are doing their job correctly. And it's also meant that we've massively reduced our reliance on paperwork, and therefore a great efficiency saving.
So, final question, Amy, Josh, what's the plan for the future?
So 2021 has been a record year for Multevo, which we're all incredibly proud of. A massive increase in just the sheer number of operatives that we now employ. It's phenomenal from mine and Amy's perspective to sit back and just see how this business has grown in such a short space of time. What we haven't done is jumped into new industries, and we've focused on what we're good at and built from the ground up, really, which is testament to why customers are now asking for these other services to complement our existing offering. I think the future is really bright.
From my side, I'm very involved in social value, and it means quite a lot to me when we're getting involved in those type of initiatives, and to see as we're growing we're able to also give back more. So I think next year there'll be some really exciting social value prospects coming our way. It was only this week that me and Josh were on a call with one of our customers talking about helping children in Malawi, and they were going through some of the projects that they're involved in, and to see the difference that we could make by supporting them was really heartwarming. Yeah, that excites me as well.
So minimizing your carbon footprint on a national scale, maximizing your social value footprint on an international scale, coming on the back of 2 years of pandemic where you've flourished and you've constantly innovated to support your clients through some of the most difficult years they will have been through. It's just great to see your company go from strength to strength and drive things forward for the entire sector. So just remains for me to say thank you very much for joining us today, Josh Sweeney, Aimee Dewse, and please do stay to the end of the video where you'll see contact details so you can get in contact with these guys about anything from verge clearing to construction to civil engineering to making a difference all around the world in terms of social value. These guys have something for everyone. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching and safe journeys.